Concept number 2, public goods. All right, so when we're talking about public goods, we're talking about goods that are provided by the government in the public sector. Public sector is goods provided for everyone within the marketplace. So this only happens when there's a market failure. What is a market failure? A market failure is when the free market doesn't actually provide what society wants and needs. In other words, everybody wants it, everybody needs it, for example, but there's no profitability in it for the businesses or firms. So as a result, we're going to underproduce or not produce it at all. So in order for something to be considered or to be eligible to become a public good, two requirements have to be in place. First, non-exclusion. When I say non-exclusion, what I mean is I can't prevent free riders from taking advantage of this, right? For example, our military defense system is a public good because if people don't pay taxes, I can't only provide defense to people who do pay taxes and leave everybody else who didn't pay taxes, the free riders, open to attack. I can't do that. If I provide defense for one, I provide defense for all, right? So it's impossible to exclude them. Parks are similar. It's impossible to exclude people from entering and exiting or taking advantage of the parks if they didn't pay their fair share. Right? We saw that picture of the Sunset Beach, right, where you have to pay for a sunset. The people who pay for the sunset feel responsible, fine, but they're going to be free riders who are going to be on that same bench but not paying, and there's no way to completely exclude them without extreme costs. That's non-exclusion. I can't prevent you from taking advantage of it, so it makes it eligible for a public good. Number 2 is shared consumption or non-rivalry consumption. Same thing, shared or non-rivalry consumption. What this means is when I consume something, it doesn't prevent you from consuming something, right? So air, for example, is something that when I consume it personally, it doesn't prevent you from consuming it as well. Same thing with the highway, right? When I drive on the highway, it doesn't mean that you are not able to drive on the highway. Right? Or a park, when I'm enjoying a park, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy the park too. Right? There's no scarcity. And where there is no scarcity, there is no market. As a result of these two things, really important, businesses cannot be profitable in providing this item, but they're still valuable to society. Society still wants them. We still want highways. We still want parks. We still want public restrooms. They are desirable, but they're not profitable. So what happens? Government steps in and provides it as a public good. So in order to understand this, we have to understand two new acronyms, MSB and MSC. So let's start with MSB. MSB is Marginal Social Benefit. In other words, this is the additional benefit that we're going to get from providing one more of these public goods, Marginal Social Benefit. And this is really just the tax burden that an individual is willing to bear for something, right? So if we take a look over here at Adam and Jill, we know that Adam, for one part, is willing to pay $4 in taxes. Jill is willing to pay $5 in taxes. So our total demand for this, or marginal social benefit, same thing, right? MSB equals demand, is $9. If we look at 4 goods, right? For 4 of these parks, Adam is willing to pay $1. Jill is willing to pay $2. So total, they're willing to pay $3 additional for the 4th park. That's marginal social benefit. They believe it is valued at that much money. So it's just the combination of all of the tax burden. And this has an inverse relationship, right? As we get more and more parks, quantity goes up. The amount that we're willing to pay goes down. And that should make some sense, right? Because of the law of diminishing returns. The first park is really valuable to us. We value it at $9, but the 5th park, do we really need 5 parks? Adam, Jill, do we? All right. So that is our demand curve, and we show that here, downward sloping demand curve, so demand equals MSB. Know that, love that. You don't have to love it, but you do have to know. MSC equals supply is the other side of it, or marginal social costs. What is it going to cost the government to provide this for us? And we say social costs because when the government provides it, they're really paying for it with our tax dollars. Right? So what is the cost? The cost of an additional public good is going to be MSC. And notice, we decided that parks were $5 a piece, cheap park. So the first park is going to be $5. Second park, $5. Third park, $5. Fourth park, $5. It's constant, right? Independent of the quantity. And so we show that here. At $5, supply equals MSC. right? It's always going to be a horizontal curve because it is a fixed price for however or whatever quantity we're trying to produce here. It does not change with the price doesn't impact the quantity that is supplied. Okay, because being supplied for people, not necessarily for profit, or not for profit at all. That's the idea. So it's fixed, completely horizontal. So what quantity of public goods are going to be provided? It's important to know that if the government wanted to, they could provide an unlimited amount of these public goods, right? We can make the whole United States a park, but we're not going to do it because the cost is just too high. So there's a limitation on the quantity of a public good that's going to be provided. So here the quantity is going to be where MSB equals MSC. In other words, where the cost that society is willing to pay, MSB, is equal to the cost that they are actually going to pay. And so that's going to be right at this point, and we see that we're going to have three parks. That's also right here where MSB is 5, MSC is 5, and so our quantity of parks that are going to be produced is 3. Now, be able to deal with a shift, right? If the price goes up, be able to show an increase in the price of that good, change it to S equals MSC2, find our new equilibrium and dash down and get your new quantity. Okay? And also, if there's a change in taste, right? If people just, hate parks now and demand shifts left, be able to find that new equilibrium and find that new quantity there. All right. Beautiful. I hope that made some sense for you. Talk to you later, like in 30 seconds.